I want to get your take on the whole Becky Lynch, Bianca Belair thing. You're a big Becky fan. I'm a big Becky fan as well. She comes back. This is a roller coaster. I mean, they had Becky come out, massive pop. I mean, even before that, it was obviously supposed to be Bianca and Sasha. We discussed this a week ago. Are they going to actually do the match? Obviously, they didn't. Bianca or Sasha's got some issues right now. We don't know what they are. Doesn't really matter, but she couldn't make the show. Hopefully, she's okay. But couldn't make the show, so they put Carmella in there instead, initially. And apparently they knew about the Sasha thing well in advance. So why they were still advertising it until Showtime, I have no fucking clue. But they put Carmella in there and no one gave a fuck. Out comes Becky Lynch, massive pop. It's like, oh fuck, this is great. We're about to get the match. It goes all of 30 seconds. Becky wins the title. It's just, this has had people talking all week, Mr. Marceau. From my take, as many of other people have thought, I kind of agree with the majority here. I thought it was a terrible way to book Bianca. I don't think she's dead and buried. I think she'll be fine. I'm not saying she's ruined. I just thought it was really dumb to do this and to end her reign in that way. Even if Becky's turning heel, which I'm still not a big fan of, just because she's so popular, so why, of all times, now would you turn her, like, as soon as she comes back? I think that's questionable. But just the way they did it was dumb. Again, like you said, if they gave it a couple more minutes and Becky, cheated to beat her by raking the eyes or a low blow or whatever the fuck, I don't know, a chair shot or something, I'd be like, okay, that's at least interesting. It would still be a little dumb they're turning her heel, but I might be more open to the idea. I just thought the execution of what they did on Saturday was just terrible. So I'm curious to get your take as a big Becky fan. I know you've kind of warmed up to Bianca, so what have been your thoughts, or what were your thoughts in the whole Becky Lynch title win from SummerSlam on Saturday?
Oh, I went bananas. I mean, man, I went fucking crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking screamed and yelled. I was going crazy.
I got your man shirt on, yep.
Oh, yeah, I fell out of bed. Grabbed my last kicker shirt on. But,
classic.
I mean, obviously, I think they probably should have did longer. I mean, the way she beat her was extremely quick. I think people are like, oh, just like Brock and Kofi. I think a totally different scenario. I mean, Becky literally was like the biggest star before she left, and she left on unreal circumstances. I mean, she was pregnant and dropped the belt, and now she's back. But I don't know. I think if they play it off right and they just say, like, oh, was it like she wasn't prepared for Becky and Becky cheated to beat her and she kind of a shock win? Because it was like she just went to shake her hand, she punched her in the face and fucking rock bottom her 1, 2, 3. I mean, if they play it off right, I guess I could. I wouldn't hate it as bad. I didn't love it just because, like you said, I think Bianca has been booked well, and having her get beat in less than 10 seconds is kind of silly. But if they book her like you said, she says like, I was surprised, and then Becky cheated, and then whatever. But I also wouldn't book her as a heel either. I mean, she was so popular before. I know it was kind of getting stale a little bit there. She had the stupid king crown and dressing up in the robe, and it was kind of getting kind of weird. So maybe that's why, because she felt like before she left, she was getting stale, which she definitely was. But when you're coming back from a year off, I think you can get away with it and not have to go heel. But
we'll see what happens. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I just thought it was weird. I thought, kind of like what you said, I mean, it also doesn't hurt Bianca. I think it hurts Becky, too, because you have, I mean, again, if she's turning heel, I guess that was the reaction they were going for, but I don't know. They just didn't make it apparent enough, and the match was weird, and it ruined the flow for the rest of the show for a lot of people. I mean, a lot of people found it hard to get into the rest of the show because of that, because they were so pissed about how they treated Bianca. Again, like I said, I'm sure she'll be fine. She'll probably get the belt back at some point. It's different than Kofi. They have 1 million men on the roster. They don't have as many women, so I'm just making sure that it's going to be, I don't know. I'm sure, I'm going to make, I just want to make sure that she'll get the belt back at some point, and that she'll be treated fine. It's just a weird situation, so I don't know. I just was not a fan of it. We'll see where they go with it, but maybe because they have... I don't know, dude. I don't know. I'm just at a loss for words here. Any other additional thoughts on this? Because I just wasn't a fan of this at all. I like Becky being back, but I just wasn't turning heel.
GSM, be less negative. The only thing I didn't understand, it's just I feel like SmackDown is very heel-heavy as it was before. Yeah. I mean... Sasha's a heel, but we don't know when she's going to be back. Bayley's a heel. She's going to be out for a while. I mean, Carmella and Zelina Vega, I mean, they're so irrelevant that it doesn't even really matter that they're heels. Then you have Natalya and Tamina. No one cares about them. So I guess you kind of really did have to turn someone heel. I mean, because you brought Toni Storm up. She's a face. You have Tegan Nox and Shotzi who are faces. So, I mean, it makes sense to a little bit. Maybe at that point, I just maybe turn Tony heel. I mean, if they were going to do, if Becky was to come back, that's probably what I would have done. But if Becky's coming back and you need heels, because I mean, at this point they don't have a credible heel, and I guess you could turn Tony Storm, but just pushing her to as the top heel, like, would kind of come out of nowhere and seem pretty random, and she probably wouldn't beat Bianca, so you put no credibility on her. So
Yeah.
it kind of makes sense, but like you said, I think they could have had a match. Like you said, maybe Becky cheated somewhere down the line, turned heel. Because like even after she cheated, I mean, she was still like, I don't know. It's just like she did a heel thing, but it didn't feel like it was like a full turn. Like she was like smiling, and she wasn't selling it at all, and it was kind of weird. But I still went nuts when she won. So.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. I figured that. So we'll see where it goes. It has me interested to see what they do on Friday. That's for sure. I just think it's the WWE booking that I don't have a lot of faith in, so that's why I'm a little worried. But time will tell.